Hey friends, it's Alex, and today I have for you my late August wrap up. So I don't actually particularly love doing wrap ups, so I'm going to try something new that I've seen a few other people do, and that's like, there will be a bit of a wrap up element, but I will also do some like stats of my reading in August. So hopefully this goes well and I hope you enjoy it, I guess. So I'll start with the stats. So in August I read 4 books and I read a total of 2,112 pages, which I'm happy with. It was more than I thought it would be, seeing as I only read 4 books. Also, I think one of the books I may have started in July, but I don't know how far I got through before, like in July, and how much I read in August, so I just counted all of it for August. So out of the 4 books I read, 3 of them I had never read before and one of them was a reread. And then 3 of them I read on audio and one of them I read physically. I gave 2 of them 5 stars and I gave 2 of them 4 stars. All of the books I read were fiction. I didn't read any non-fiction, and one of them is action-adventure genre, and the other 3 all kind of fall somewhere within the fantasy category, from like full-on fantasy to like fantastical elements, I guess. Or maybe one of them is more like sci-fi elements. So those are my August stats. Hopefully in like later months, as I kind of get more of an idea of what I want to do with this, and also as I read more books, that section might get a bit longer. We'll see what happens. But I will go through the books with you now in the order that I read them, I guess. So I read Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 2nd book in the David Bad series. This was one of the ones I listened to on audio, and it was one of the ones that I read for the first time. I really enjoyed this book. This was a 4-star read for me. I read the first book so long ago that there were a few bits that I was a bit lost on, which was my own fault. But overall I was able to pick up the story pretty well. I really enjoyed what happened in this book. Like, I really enjoyed reading it. It made me very emotional in places, and I'm very keen to finally finish this series and read Empire of Gold. I really liked all the characters. I really like Ali in this book. He's grown loads since the first book, and I'm really excited to see more of what happens to him in the 3rd book and more of his character development. The next book I read is Ice Station by Matthew Riley. This was my reread for the month, and this was also the book I read physically. It is very long, at nearly 700 pages, but it's very fast paced, and also because it was a reread I got through it quite quickly, which is good. These books are slightly ridiculous, but they're just so much fun and I love them so much, and I'm so happy to be rereading them. I feel like I just have very fond feelings for this, especially since it was a reread. And this was one of my 5-star books. That was the rating I gave it the first time I read it, and that did not change, just because of how engaging these are, and they just like fully suck you in and don't let go until the last page, and I just love them so much. The 3rd book I read is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This is another book I read on audio, and it is another book I read for the first time. And this is my other 5-star read of the month. I am utterly obsessed with this book. I loved every second of it. The characters were all utterly adorable and just amazing, and I'm in love with every single one of them. I wanted more, basically. I want a sequel. I want more. Love this so much. I will definitely be rereading this at some point in my life, hopefully soon, probably next year. This was just incredible. And then the last book I read in August was One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Once again, this was a book I read for the first time, and this was a book I read on audio. I really enjoyed this one too. This one only got 4 stars, not because there was necessarily anything wrong with it. It was mainly just it didn't really give me that 5-star feeling, so it just didn't quite scrape it, unfortunately. The only real issue I had with this was the writing style. It's not my favourite. It is told in third person present tense, which is not my favourite combination. I also struggled with red, white and royal blue because it was told in the same combination. But I did find that listening to the audiobook of this one instead of reading it physically really made a difference for me. Like, I was able to get so much more into the story and look past the writing style so much more. So I'm really glad I listened to the audio of this one. I adored the romance in this. It was so perfect. The story was just amazing too, and I loved all the other elements aside from the romance. There were just so many good things about this book. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. So I thought I might also say, I think I got inspiration for this from Steph Loves, so I'll leave her channel link down below. But I thought I would share at the end of each video my favourite book of the month, and then a book that disappointed me and a book that surprised me. I didn't have any books that disappointed me this month, which is great. The book that surprised me was One Last Stop, because I didn't think I was going to like it because of the writing style. And then, if I haven't already made it obvious, my favourite book of the month was The House in the Cerulean Sea. So that was my really short August reading stats and wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked this like format. Hopefully it'll be a bit better in months where I read more books. But I think it will probably be something I carry on with. I will see how I feel at the end of September. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you read in August and what your favourite book was. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!